presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Milwaukee's in town, and you'd be smiling too if you were an all-star outfielder and one of only 2 men in the majors. Already a 20-20 season, 20 steals, 20 stolen bases for Carlos Gomez. And how about the Padres? Yasmani Grandal, as you look at the standings there as well, and we'll revisit those for you. Grandal has 46 hits this year, 23, half of them for extra bases, including a long 3-run home run in Arizona for the Padres win against the D-backs yesterday. As we welcome you to Petco Park, the first of a 3-game series, the Padres against the number 1 team in the National League Central Division, as you just saw in that graphic, a game and a half in front of the St. Louis Cardinals. The Milwaukee Brewers, in fact, the Brewers have owned first place in the Central Division all but just a handful of games all season long. But they're going to have to face Mr. October for the Padres tonight.
Yeah, Eric Stultz has been tremendous, and he is pitching very, very well this month, and you can see he's done it with an uptick of velocity, which I think brings in a lot of confidence. He's also pitching a lot quicker. Sometimes he tended to overthink it a little bit, and Eric Stultz now is finding his groove and very strong, eating up innings, which I think is very important in a pitching staff. But Eric Stultz believes that he's going to give this team an opportunity to win every single night.
34-year-old Hoosier, 3-0 in his 4 starts in August this year, and a brilliant ERA. Speaking of brilliance, and perhaps the most unknown star in the National League for the Milwaukee Brewers is Jonathan LaCroix.
Well, if you look at him, Dick, this is a guy that just grinds out at bats. He is going to hurt you because he is very consistent, has a great approach at the plate, does very well behind the plate, handling this pitching staff, but he has been the MVP, also the starter in the NL for the All-Star game. That really shows you what he's got. A lot of people are talking about this young man as being an MVP candidate.
2 for 2 in the All-Star game. He's hitting .304 on the season, 43 doubles to lead the entire National League. Well, when we return to Petco Park, Chris Budden will be featuring Padre versatility. That becomes their personality. Versatility and personality coming up.
Welcome back to San Diego. Game 1 between the Padres and the Brewers just about to get underway. Jed Jerko not in the starting lineup once again, still dealing with that nagging hamstring injury. He expects to be back tomorrow and will be available to pinch hit. But again, just injuries nagging this team. And at second base alone, they played 7 different players there. Well, while Buddy Black would like to have everyday guys in the lineup each day, he does say it's a testament to the versatility on this roster.
We are versatile. I know that. I mean, we have a number of guys who can play multiple positions. So during the course of a game, that's advantageous because there's a number of things you can do without being hamstrung. So that's the thing that sticks out the most for us, is that we're never really caught without somebody who's able to defend at a certain position and feel good and not feel good about it. So that's a plus.
And that's your Geico quote of the game. Eric Stoltz on the mound for the Padres, trying to get another winning streak going. Game 1 against the Brewers. We got first pitch coming up from Petco Park here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Nice start for Eric Stoltz. Put a little violin solo to that strikeout.
1, 2, 3, and he takes the seat. Oh my, what a pitch. Swing and a miss.
Got him looking. A hand for Stoltz. Well done. There's only one traffic light in Argos, Indiana, northern Indiana, the home of Eric Stoltz, but he's been putting up the red light on opposing hitters the month of August. 3-0 with an ERA of 1.46 as we welcome you to Petco Park, Dick Enberg, with Mark Sweeney sitting in for Mark Grant tonight and for this series. And the Padres take the field. First of 3 against the first place Milwaukee Brewers. Warm summer's night. The Brewers lineup is brought to you by Mattress Discounters. Here's how Ron Renicki's club will hit tonight with Carlos Gomez in center field, Jonathan LaCroix at first base, Ryan Braun in right, Aramis Ramirez. So those first 4 all-stars. Chris Davis is having a remarkable season. The left fielder has hit 20 home runs. Ricky Weeks has power at second base. Martin Maldonado, a few times he's played against the Padres, has punished them. Gene Segura at shortstop, and Kyle Loesch, the pitcher.
Well, Dick, it's time for our scouting report brought to you by Jaguar of San Diego. For Eric Stultz today, quick tempo in between pitches, but also quick tempo in his motion. He's seen a lot uptick in his velocity, which I think is very important, and also limit the Brew Crew's top 5. They have 83 home runs, the top 5 hitters in that lineup. Watch for that to evolve as the game goes along.
Brought to you by Jaguar of San Diego, and now the Padres defense brought to you by the Aramco Group. Defensively in the outfield, it'll be Seth Smith, Cameron Maben in center, Will Venable in right. Around the horn, Chris Nelson, Alexi Amarista. On the right side, Jan Solarte and Jake Gobert. Yasmani Grandal behind the plate for Eric Stultz. Monday night baseball from Petco Park. First of 3. Here comes, with a hop and a skip, Carlos Gomez.
Always with a flair.
Don't be surprised if he swings so hard that he falls down in the batter's box. That's the kind of player he is, and he has established himself. Gomez not only is a 2-time All-Star, but one of only 2 players, the other Brian Dozier of the Minnesota Twins, already with a 2020 season, 20 home runs plus and 20 stolen bases. The first pitch of the game is in for a strike. Check swing strike. Ran into Carlos Gomez in the locker room of Ron Renicke's Brewers. He's a big guy.
Yeah, big guy, but with a lot of flair that we talked about. You see him amped up for this.
Big cut and a long foul, 0-2.
Big cut on the check swing and then a foul ball down the right field line. This young man has special qualities. He can do a lot on both sides, both ends of the, both defensively and offensively.
Does strike out a lot, 120 times for a leadoff man. That's the 9th most in the league. Lucroy on deck, and the 1-2 pitch. Skips in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Change up. Ryan Braun in the hole. Pretty tough first 4 batters in that lineup. That's why they're in first place. They can hit. And another bouncer. Another changeup. 3-2. Stultz doesn't go to 3-ball counts often. In fact, he rarely walks a man. He's walked 2 or less in 28 of the last 33 games, and he rips that one up the middle. Gomez almost took the cap off Stultz's head. Line shot single for the leadoff man for the Brewers.
Yeah, a lot of energy by Gomez, and you could see manipulating through the at-bat. The first pitch, a check swing, and then gets down 0-2 and battles back, and you could see the swing on our Phantom Cam, squaring it up the middle. A 3-2 fastball right down the middle of the plate.
Tony Gwynn would have loved that replay, that bottom hand with a palm up.
Palm up, palm down. That's what Tony Gwynn always talked about.
LaCroix. Number 5 in the league, hardest to strike out.
Well, such a great position for Jonathan Lucroy in this situation. Carlos Gomez on first base has a lot of speed. Animated over there at first base. He creates some problems, which means that the pitchers are going to have to throw a lot more fastballs.
Checks on Gomez, who has 27 steals, as you've seen. LaCroix said he learned to hit from a father who was a professional softball player, a third baseman in Florida. There he goes. And an easy steal, number 28.
Well, you can see Dick not wasting any time and going on first move. You could see the transfer really didn't work for Yasmani Grandal. I don't think he had an opportunity to throw him out, but you can see the transfer doesn't work, doesn't finger the baseball. And into second base goes Carlos Gomez with his stolen base.
High fly ball, shallow and right. Venable eases in under it. The tag by Gomez, it's a bluff. And the throw comes into the cutoff man, Amarista. First pitch tonight. Jamal Franklin from San Diego State. Something about these basketball players, they don't have the command of the strike zone.
It looked like he wanted to dribble it to the plate.
He did.
But having fun, you got to love that. Not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, it's going to be another fun season for Steve Fisher's Aztec basketball team. They're sold out again all season long. A few scattered tickets. High hopes. Ryan Braun takes a strike. Keep an eye on Gomez with one out. The real good base stealers say it's easier to steal third than second.
I agree, because you can start manipulating your lead, try to gain a little bit of advantage. You could try to pick out the sequence that the catcher's trying to put down.
1-1. Ron Renicky in his 4th year, skipper of the Brewers. He and Bud Black, close friends. They were coaches on Mike Scioscia's Angel team in 2002 that went all the way to win the World Series against the Giants.
Quite a managing tree with Joe Madden down at Tampa Bay.
Fouled by Braun, who leads the Brewers with 73 runs batted in. There are their records. But Black celebrating his 600th victory yesterday in Arizona. I said, well, it's nice to have those numbers, but that's not the victory total that he wants. He wants a bunch of playoff victory. That's the one that'll really count for himself, his team, the management, the fans of San Diego.
Well, we got him.
There he goes to third. The ball back off the glove. Stoltz, a throw is not in time, and Gobert saves a run by diving off the bag to make that catch of a bad throw. So first and third. Stoltz slowing it down, and that allowed Braun a chance to leg it out for a hit. So first and third with one out. And here's cleanup man Aramis Ramirez.
Well, Gomez goes on the pitch, and Eric Stoltz tries to field this. It ricochets off his glove. See Ryan Braun going down, and what a pick by Jake Gobert. And I think he ended up colliding with the legs with Ryan Braun down there. And watch his back leg ends up connecting with Ryan Braun. Gomez looks to see if he can have an opportunity. A lot of style in Gomez. A wild horse.
He draws attention. And watch what happens here as Braun arrives. Watch the back leg of Gobert as he goes for that errant throw. He actually kicks Braun. Fortunately, neither man injured on the play. Those can be dangerous.
He's still shaking that left leg. Jake Gobert is.
First and third. Ramirez, a candidate for a double play. He leads the Brewers 14 times. He's grounded into 2. One tick below Lou Croy's 304 batting average. But since he came off the DL in early June, hitting a robust 328. They score a lot of runs, Milwaukee, and they threaten here in the first. Big swing and the miss. 1-1.
A good slider by Eric Stoltz, working on that outside edge.
Chris Davis on deck. 20 home runs for him. Ripped to third and through. That'll score Gomez. Braun will coast into second. And Ramirez adds to his RBI total. Took that curveball right through the 5.5 hole. 59 RBIs now for the third baseman. So 3 hits from the first 4 batters to face Stoltz tonight.
First and third situation. Ramirez tries to get a ball up in the strike zone. That curveball is elevated, which is a lot easier for you to make an adjustment. He pulls it through that 5.5 hole for the RBI for the Brewers.
And here's Chris Davis. Still one out, 2 men aboard. High strike.
Our Phantom Cam and showing the motion from Eric Stultz, and you could see the torque on that left arm.
Slow roller to first. Gobert will make the tag for the out, and there's 2 away as Braun and Ramirez move into scoring position. Ricky Weeks, second baseman, is the hitter. Very slow start of the season. Weeks, in fact, he was benched. Scooter Gennett was the second baseman when the Padres played in Milwaukee back in April.
Yeah, talking to the Brewers, and now they have a pretty good mix because Weeks has done a nice job handling his barrel of his bat through the strike zone, but has a nice job of Ron Renicky going with Scooter Gennett and also Ricky Weeks to platoon those guys at second base. It's been benefit for both hitters.
In for a strike. Curveball.
Scooter Gennett. One of those grinder type guys that you just love inserting into the game.
He's hitting .310. He's on the bench. To third. Charged by Nelson. The throw across in time. Limiting the damage. 3 hits for the Brewers in the first, but scoring only 1. Will Venable will follow Solarte, and then Seth Smith for the Padres, bottom of the first. Will Venable and Seth Smith, and here is the total Padre lineup of Bud Black, brought to you by Toyota. Yasmani Grandal will hit cleanup. Jay Gobert bats 5th at first base. Cameron Maben in the number 6 slot in center field. Then Alexi Amarista moving up to number 7. Chris Nelson will bat 8th, and Eric Stultz 9th.
Well, let's take a look at the scouting board by Kyle Loesch, and coming off an ankle sprain, right ankle sprain, so it's that back foot. So we're going to watch that tonight. He's going to give different looks to the Padre hitters. He doesn't like to give that same sequence every single at bat. He'll change sequences, change up, slider, but you're going to have to hit the fastball inside for the Padres tonight.
Solarte starts the first inning and takes ball 1. Loesch, a year older than his pitching opponent Stultz. He's 35. Solarte's numbers as a Padre, he's now had over 100 at bats. Outside 2-0. Well, Loesch and Stultz, while they're about the same age, grizzled veterans, their records here in August exactly opposite. Stultz 3-0, Loesch 0-3. not only 0-3, but an ERA of 6.63.
Yeah, it's been location for Kyle Lohse. It's not going to be velocity for both of these pitchers tonight. You're going to have to locate. See the 35-year-old. This is his 13th year in the big leagues.
From Chico, California, Eric Stoltz has a ball 4 on 4 pitches. That can often be a real good sign. Leadoff man is on. Brewers defense brought to you by Honda tonight, with Davis in left, Gomez in center, and Braun, the right fielder. The infield of Ramirez and Segura on the left side. Weeks and LaCroix will monitor the right side of the Brewer infield, and Maldonado behind the plate. LaCroix getting a rare start at first base, his 12th time. Venable takes the first strike of the game from Lohse. Pinch homer yesterday in Arizona to help secure the Padres' 7-4 win.
Yeah, coming in and hitting again for Cameron Maybin and coming up with a huge home run and adding a little bit of space for that lead. Had to feel good for Will Venable to get off that swing, coming off a huge second half last year.
What is it about these Padres and pinch home runs? That's the 9th pinch homer of the year, by far and away the most in the major leagues. There you see D-backs and Pirates with only 6. Foul back.
Well, Dick, if you think about that, I think it has a lot to do with Bud Black managing and his managing style. Gives these guys an opportunity to get some at-bats in early in the season. They have some platoons, but getting into the swing of things during the year and then coming off the bench, it's a lot easier doing it with at-bats coming off spring training as well.
Safe lead by Solarte. And a ground ball to the first baseman. LaCroix goes for the force, and Venable safe at first. Well, we talked about the ankle injury of Lohse. Let's check how he's using that back foot.
Yeah, and I think he doesn't ride his legs, which a lot of pitching coaches will talk about. And I don't think that right ankle is going to be a problem. We saw the location in the first at bat to Solarte, but that's what we're going to have to watch. It's that landing foot that makes it very difficult when you have ankle problems, when you don't ride your legs like Kyle Lohse does.
Big guy, 6'2" and 208. Seth Smith, the Padres' leading hitter, 291. Ball 1. Number 12, Seth Smith. Does that sound familiar at all to you, Mark Sweeney?
It sure does.
Number 12, Mark Sweeney's number at the University of Maine. Retired. Many honors. That's a great honor.
Black Bears gave me an opportunity to get to that next level and an opportunity to play baseball, which I shake my head all the time, just wondering what you were going to try to do from Halston, Massachusetts.
Traditionally a great baseball program up there. Orono, Maine. Larry Mahaney, a longtime friend of mine, God rest his soul, contributing to that baseball program, the baseball stadium.
Yeah, and the head coach, John Winken, we recently lost him. And unfortunately, he taught me a lot about the game, just the ins and outs of how to prepare yourself, both on and off the field. And I miss John Winken. I appreciate everything he did for me in my career.
That's a strike, 2-1.
So many times we worry about the on-field stuff of preparing yourself, but it's also dealing with so many pressures off the field and preparing yourself for regular life, because these guys aren't robots that go out there and you have to live a real life, but then you have a day job that really makes it difficult if you don't produce. It's a fun game.
It surprises a lot of people that a campus so far north would have such an outstanding baseball program year after year after year. And I know you played in some snow flurries in April more than once.
That's what we did. Well, we had to learn how to prepare inside, not get on the field.
Out in front of that slider, 2-2.
You're going to see varied sliders for Kyle Lohse. Going to have a cutting action, but also a little deeper depth slider like that last one.
Venable at first base, a beautiful late sky, brilliant blue with orange streaks. And the count goes full. Smith walks more than any Padre. Hasn't had much luck against Loesch in his career. 1 for 10.
Well, the big thing about Kyle Loesch, he has experience behind him, and he will not give in to hitters. He believes he's one pitch away from inducing a double play.
Smith got a call on that 2-2 pitch. There goes Venable, and the ball is low. And the Padres have 2 men aboard on walks. That'll bring up Yasmani Grandal as we take a look at the keys to the game. Brought to you by your Honda dealers of San Diego County.
Dick, we talked about Eric Steltz, his 26th start on the season. He owns a 3-0 record in 4 August starts. And also some run support has been minimal, 3.07. That's the lowest in major leagues among qualified starters for Eric Steltz. They need to kind of help it out a little bit. Early runs for the Padres.
Only 46 runs scored in 25 starts supporting Eric Stoltz. 2 on, 1 out. Grandal takes a strike. His home run was a no-doubter yesterday. A high fastball that he tomahawked deep into the right field seats. His 11th of the season. Just missed that one, fouled it straight back. So for Loesch to walk 2 men in the first inning, that's stunning. He's 8th in the league, fewest walks per 9 innings, 1.9 per 9 innings, and he's walked 2 already here in the first. Padres need to take advantage of his generosity. Oh, Venable gets caught off second base. He was going to try to steal third and runs himself into an out. Oh, that hurts.
Let's see what Will Venable tries to catch Ramirez napping, and they were very aware of that. Credit Kyle Loesch for delivering a strike to Segura. Segura runs him down.
Now 2 outs. That takes a runner out of scoring position, and Grandal now 0-2 the count. Yeah, we go back to when Gomez was at second base with 1 out. That's the time you want to try to steal third. But hey, the pitcher knows that too.
Well, I think that could be something that in the scouting report that they tried to read, and Kyle Loesch very aware of what he has to do around the mound.
One and 2. Right center field. Driving in is Gomez, who digs in and fills the void. He can really cover ground. Gomez in center. Ball didn't quite carry. 1-0 Milwaukee after 1. The Oakland A's at Houston. That's Josh Donaldson ripping a double into the left field corner. The A's starting tonight 1 game behind the Angels in the American League West have a 3-0 lead in the late innings tonight against the Astros. As we go to the top of the second, Milwaukee will send up Martin Maldonado, Gene Segura, and the pitcher Kyle Loesch. Again, Stoltz leading 1-0. 3 singles, delivering the run. Ramirez with the RBI in the first. 2-0. So the American League West, a tight race with the A's and Angels trading places throughout the year. Seattle's only 6 back and in the wild card hunt.
Those Angels winning the last game in that Oakland series. They play again in Anaheim. That's going to come down. That's a great race. Unfortunately, Garrett Richards getting hurt in Boston last week changes that dynamic of the starting rotation for the Angels.
And a lot of Padre fans rooting for the Angels, not only because they're close neighbors, but Houston Street, hoping that Houston can have a good time in the playoffs in October. Unless there is a total collapse, the Angels and Oakland both figure to make the playoffs.
Well, with the addition of Houston Street, they've improved their bullpen dramatically, but now they have to try to improve their starting rotation.
Yeah, where are they going to get the pitching arm from the top of the rotation they've lost? Second baseman Solarte spears that bit for a base hit. Maldonado denied.
There's a nice joy about Solarte.
Obviously, he loves playing this game.
Yeah, both sides of the diamond, and you can see him playing to the pole side up the middle and diving, and the bench loves that effort. See Despagne. These guys are having a lot of fun.
That was an easy one. Make a tough run. Gene Segura. 1-1 the count on the young shortstop. His numbers down from a year ago.
Yeah, talking to people over in Milwaukee, and he has actually been benched the last 2 games previous to this one. Just don't feel like his mental part of it, as we see Ron Renicky, is definitely there, and he called him out actually.
Lines a base hit to center field. That's the 4th hit off Stoltz.
Well, Ron Renicky was saying his consistency at the plate, especially and also defensively, need to be much better. Sitting a young player for 2 games might send a pretty good message, as you saw the line drive to center field.
Well, that bench is a great tool in all sports, isn't it? If a manager or a head coach wants to get something done in terms of discipline, he doesn't have to shout and scream. He can just put that player on the bench. Doesn't feel good if you're any kind of an athlete at all to be sitting there when you want to play.
Well, one day is an off day. The second day it becomes being benched. He's got a lot of talent.
A little Loesch up there. Padres looking for the sacrifice. And a good looking bunt. Rondal will have to go to first. Colbert covering. And that moves Segura into scoring position with 2 outs and brings up Carlos Gomez. Gomez singled, stole second, and scored the Milwaukee run in the first inning. Almost fell down that time. Slider.
That's what you got to do. You got to try to tie him up off the plate. This is a beautiful pitch by Eric Stoltz. Was that slider down and in? You can see by Gomez, he has very high intentions. He goes back to that slider.
Two strikes the count, and Gomez crowds the plate. Counts for the fact that he's been hit 14 times among the league leaders. Right on that inside line.
See if they elevate here.
They do, and a fly ball to right field. Charging in is Venable to make the catch. And that's it for the Brewers in the second. Padres will lead it off with Jake Gobert. Bottom of the second.
In San Diego. A couple injury updates to get you up to date on. We'll start first with Carlos Quentin. He got a second opinion on the bone bruise in his knee. He's not going to have surgery right now. Rest is key for him. He is not going to probably be back the rest of the season, but it's good news that he won't have to have surgery. As for Everett Cabrera, he reached a new stage in his rehab today. He ran for the first time. He's been taking grounders. He took BP today. Ran for the first time. Buddy Black said likely that you should see him here in September.
All right, thank you, Chris. Gobert leads it off with a pop fly handled by Weeks, the second baseman. One away. Cameron Maben and then Alexi Amarista here in the bottom of the second. And it's time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #SDFanPhoto. A chance to have it shown in an upcoming game telecast brought to you by AT&T. Cameron Maben back in the lineup. Had a nice show on Saturday in Arizona. But 2 of the 3 hits collected by the Padres. And fouls that one back.
Now you see that leg kick and taking a rip. First pitch.
Only 1 home run for Maben, and yet this man has exceptional power. He's had some of the longest home runs of any Padre. Goes around on that one.
Well, you can see that leg kick. It is a benefit at times, but if it's a timing issue, it can be very difficult to really sync up with both your lower half and your upper half.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Dick, we've seen Cameron Maben a couple years ago go with that leg kick and totally abandon the leg kick. In his first at bat, hit one of the farthest home runs in Arizona.
Stays at 1 and 2.
Like you said, he has a lot of power, a lot of ability. And sometimes that leg kick can cause problems because you don't have the opportunity to get consistent at bats.
You tried the leg kick, didn't you?
Yeah, and I had Don Mattingly, the hitting coach for the Dodgers, asked me to do it after I did it for so many years, trying to have a simple approach.
Line drive, base hit. Padres have their first base hit. Maben a solid single to center. 1 out brings up Alexi Amarista.
Good 2-strike hitting by Cameron Maben. Take a look at his swing and from the side. He has that leg kick, but he gets his foot down early and works on top of the baseball. You can see in our Phantom cam getting on top and lining that right up the middle. That is beautiful, pulling the hands in.
Amarista at 239. Over but low. It just seems to me that the high leg kick, you're vulnerable to the changeup.
Yeah, and especially if your head moves forward with that leg kick. There's so many aspects to it, and it's kind of the craze of baseball.
Amarista, a modified version of a leg kick. He just lifts up the leg.
And we've seen it. Some people have abandoned the two-strike approach, too. Cutting down your swing, cutting down the leg kick, because it's all about the home run and trying to provide that power. And it's just that feeling of the leg kick that makes you feel a little more powerful, hitting on the move.
Outside 2-1. Well, let's go back to the Mr. Padre, the great Tony Gwynn. He didn't use a leg kick, did he?
Yeah, simple approach. Picking up his front foot, putting it down, but using his hands. Being able to manipulate the barrel of the bat, and you saw the consistency of his average and driving runs in and producing at big moments. He didn't rely on guesswork. He relied on his ability, which I thought made him an extraordinary hitter, and you saw the consistency that Tony Gwynn brought to the game.
Tony Gwynn fan watching the action from the right field corner. 2-1. Maben has stolen only 3 bases. Loesch already sitting on the 30th pitch of the game coming up.
You see Cameron Maben talking to Jose Valentin, and sometimes you'll adjust your uniform and they'll give keys of what they see from the move of Kyle Loesch.
Strong lead by Maben. He goes. Line to left field. If that's fair, it could be trouble. It is a fair ball. Kicks into the corner. Bounces away from Davis. Maben will score easily. There goes Amarista to third with a triple. He ties it up at 1-1. Alexi Amarista goes to the opposite field, and Maben running on the play scores easily to tie it up.
Well, how about the little ninja getting on top of the fastball? And you can see Cameron Maben taking off, and he drives us right down the inside the line. And Cameron Maben taking off on the pitch. Good read by Cameron Maben down the line, and he scores easily. Chris Davis does not possess a good throwing arm in left field, and Amarista takes the triple.
The Padres have a chance to grab the lead now with 1 out and Amarista at third. Chris Nelson, the hitter, infield in. Nelson with 7 RBIs as a Padre, hitting .221. 2-0. Whether he'll get a pitch to hit, questionable with the pitcher on deck, Stoltz.
Well, with the infield in, you would think Kyle Loesch would try to work off the edges.
2-0. Outside 3-0. Stoltz on deck. His last game against the Dodgers. Knocked in his first run of the year. Caught the outside corner, says Paul Schreiber. 3-1.
Yeah, that ball looked away to me as we see our Fox tracks by Nissan. Number 4 way off the plate.
All 4 pitches from Loesch have been outside. And another. So that's a pitcher on. Nelson's aboard. First and third with 1 out as we introduce tonight's umpiring crew with Schreiber calling balls and strikes. Ripperger, Marquez, and the crew chief Barrett working the bases.
Well, Dick, home plate umpire Paul Schreiber in his 17th year. His father was a AAA umpire himself, and he wanted to follow his father's footsteps. In 1998, he had his first major league game. 2 years previous, he lost his mom to breast cancer. He left an open seat his first major league game just for her to watch that game.
Yeah, that's good. Stoltz, safety squeeze, the throw to the plate, and out is Amarista. Boy, Loesch, an overhand throw from short range, and here comes Bud Black. He may want this one reviewed. But Loesch didn't go with a quick flip or the underhanded toss. He went overhand and threw a short range strike to catcher Maldonado. Let's see what our replay offers. And he never hits home plate with the left hand.
Well, here's going to be a good view right here.
He never gets his hand on the base.
Yep. I think what they're going to do is seeing if Maldonado gave him a clean lane into home plate. Remember, fans, the catcher cannot move unless he has the ball in his possession. He has to give that sliding lane to the runner.
Yeah, let's check out just the position of the catcher Maldonado. That's exactly what's happening in New York.
I really believe, Dick, that this is the rule that's going to have to be manipulated and changed and reformed, the wording of the rule.
Of course, it was designed to protect the heavy collisions where runners just bowled over a catcher blocking the plate, and subsequent injuries have been the result. And you have to applaud that reasoning, but it's almost as if the catcher now is at a total disadvantage.
Well, so you could call it the Buster Posey rule, because in San Francisco, Buster Posey lost his season to a huge collision. Let's take a look at another look at Kyle Loesch making a nice, accurate throw.
He gave him room. And then Amarista unable to get his left hand on home plate.
Watch that left foot. It doesn't move, and sometimes they'll look at that too. That's probably why it's taking a long time. I just don't understand why and how they're going to teach these catchers to give that running lane when you know someone's trying to score and just moving your body.
Well, it has totally changed the way players come into home plate. It's the same slide. They slide wide and then try to hit home plate with a hand. You don't see any straightforward slides. Certainly no head first slides. Well, occasionally, but it's all with the idea of being wide of the plate in foul territory and reaching back with the left hand.
You know, Dick, the problem I have with this rule too is you look at from the runner's perspective. You see a lot of guys that are sliding head first into home plate. Lexi Amarista tries to slide on the outside and get his left hand on that back corner of the plate. But I don't like the fact that you're seeing more percentage of the runners sliding head first into home plate. You're going to see shoulders or wrists, hands. There's going to be a lot more injuries, and luckily we haven't had that to this point.
In part because catchers really have followed the rule to the very letter, in that they're staying in front of home plate and giving the backside, the back edge of home plate to the runner. Boy, it's taking a long time, isn't it? From what I could see, there was an open area for Amarista on the backside of the plate, and his left hand didn't touch home plate. I wish I were wrong in that judgment.
Well, I think it's the interpretation, and that's why it takes so long to really show this. And Maldonado probably finding out if he's moving before he catches the baseball into that sliding lane.
Well, the retiring commissioner Bud Selig is going to be here at Petco tomorrow. We're going to have a chance to chat with him. One of the questions I'm going to ask: Are you pleased with this rule? I know that the commissioner has been very strongly supporting speeding up the game, but this is delaying the game. And this is about a 4-minute delay. He's out. Well, that's the way I saw it. Not that counts much. But Amarista nailed at the plate on a very good play made by Kyle Loesch. And safe with a sacrifice fielder's choice is Stultz. Nelson moves to second. 2 outs, and Solardi, the leadoff man, comes up. 1-1 tie here in the second. Solarte walked in the first inning.
Well, you look at that last play, and Eric Stultz did his job putting it to the right side with the right-hander Loesch coming off the mound. Made a very accurate throw to home, and that's the reason why they nabbed Amarista.
Solarte, ground ball right side. Can he beat the pitcher to the bag? Yes, he can. And now the bases are loaded. Loesch got a slow start covering first. The first baseman, Lucroy, not a natural position, ranged too far to his right, took the ball away from Weeks. Had he stayed at first, Weeks would have had the play.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Dick, because he releases from first base. Watch Jonathan Lucroy, the first baseman. He vacates his position and puts Kyle Loesch in a tough situation. He doesn't get over early enough, and that's a single for Solarte. Kind of no man's land, but as a first baseman, you've got to know your second baseman can get to that ball. You got to have trust in your first baseman as Solarte slides into first.
So a Padre over every pillow. Bases loaded with 2 outs for Will Venable. Ball one. Venable grounded out into a fielder's choice his first time, and then advanced to second when Smith walked. But attempting to steal third, was caught off second and run down for an out. 1-1 tie. Big chance for the Padres. 1-1. Challenged him with a fastball in on the hands. Bases loaded this year. Venable has been a solid 4 for 6.
I'll take 5 for 7 right here.
Another fastball. Loesch challenging Venable. Six for 17 against Loesch lifetime. Bases loaded with Padres here in the second. Another fastball. Tried to get him to climb the ladder. Maben single with 1 out, and Amarista's triple tying it. Bases loaded now, and the count 2-2 to Venable.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you pitch up in the strike zone without velocity.
55-footer. Full count. No place to hide now for Loesch as that changeup bouncing in. 2 outs, 3-2 to Venable. The runners will be off. Struck him out on ball 4. Another high fastball, and the Padres settled for 1 run, leave 3 stranded, and after 2, it's tied at 1. at first base tonight, but all-star catcher Jonathan Lucroy leads off the third, and he's posting the kinds of numbers that put him in the conversation for the National League MVP. And you like Stanton? Those are big numbers, aren't they?
Well, big numbers. They're only a game below 500 coming into tonight. And Andrew McCutchen, the MVP last year, putting up good numbers. I think Clayton Kershaw is the MVP in the National League.
LaCroix to the left side. It's Amarista on the run to throw him out. And it's time now for our top tier playoff profile, brought to you by Arco. Ryan Braun in his career against the Padres in 44 games, hitting .309 and 10 home runs. A couple of years ago, he had 3 in one game, knocking in 32 runs in those 44 games. So he has been a true nemesis. Our Arco feature. Braun, an infield hit off the glove of Stoltz, his first time.
Well, coming into this at bat, 279, but you talk to some scouts, and a lot of them say he gets out of the strike zone a lot. Out of the strike zone, 40% of swings and misses.
You would think Braun, a much more disciplined hitter than that. A hanging curveball, and that's driven deep to left. Smith goes back. It is gone. Speaking of nemesis, Braun has drilled it over the left center field fence. It's 2-1 Milwaukee. That's that slow curveball, and Eric Stoltz hasn't thrown many of those of late, in August especially, but he spins one up there and it hangs in the middle of the plate, and Braun gives it a ride.
Yeah, you see the barrel on that baseball, that hanging breaking ball. Just the sound off Ryan Braun's bat.
Number 17 for Braun. And the Brewers don't take long to reclaim the lead. 1-out home run here in the third. Aramis Ramirez. RBI single the first time. Slider. This is a tough lineup. They're the 4th best hitting team in the National League. And they're 2nd in home runs. High fly ball to Maven in center. 2 away. Braun's home run is the 131st of the season for Milwaukee. Colorado leads away with 150.
A good hitter's ballpark at Miller Park, and ball does travel, especially in the summertime.
2 outs to Chris Davis, 26-year-old who played his college ball up the freeway at Cal State Fullerton. Two and 0. Davis having a breakout season, 20 home runs. Ed Cedar, the third base coach, talking with him before the game, said, watch him take batting practice. He won't try to hit a home run. You won't see him hit a home run. He'll work right field, right center field. And Ed says, well, that's a good idea, but now and then show me show me your power. He said, I'll wait to game time. I'll show you my power.
Well, I got to agree with that, because I had a hitting coach, George Hendrick, that said when we walked into the batters taking batting practice, he said, try not to hit a home run. And I think it's just part of a plan that you got to have, and credit a young man for having that plan going into batting practice.
Swing and a miss. 3-2 now to Davis. You see, and it's every team, some of the smallest players, the line drive hitters, take batting practice and they're trying to hit the ball in the seats.
Yeah.
And when game time comes around, that's not their game. That's not their talent.
You got to identify yourself at what type of hitter you are.
High with the fastball, and Davis earns a walk. That's the first given up by Stoltz, as we mentioned. He doesn't allow many free passes, and he's disappointed with himself that he lost Davis with 2 outs. Ricky Weeks grounded to third his first time. the sound of bat against ball when Weeks is wielding the bat is extraordinary, and his teammates even commenting, you close your eyes in batting practice and know when Weeks is hitting, because he just really can square it up.
Yeah, Dick, and the batting practice is where he left a lot of his hits the last few years. He has been struggling. It's been consistency. I think he falls into that trap of exactly what you just talked about, trying to hit home runs during batting practice and being enamored of how far you can hit it. But what you have to do is find consistency. Ron Renneke and his staff are asking just that.
4 years ago he had 29, 3 years ago 20, 2 years ago 21 home runs. Weeks checks his swing and the count 2-1, but only 5 home runs this year.
Now you see the approach and it looks a lot like the setup of Gary Sheffield, and at times it looks like he's trying to emulate that Gary Sheffield approach. Well, Sheffield had the bat speed a lot more than Ricky Weeks does, in my opinion.
Runner goes. They got him picked off, but they picked off Goldberg. The throw by Stoltz, and Goldberg was lucky to even catch it. It was wide, and no chance then to get Davis, who has a stolen base.
Well, watch Jake Goldberg come off the bag, and then his left foot as the throw takes him almost towards the dugout. Puts him in an awkward situation and can't even release the throw to second base.
Only the 4th stolen base for Davis. And 3-1 now to Weeks. 2-1 Milwaukee on the home run by Braun here in the 3rd. They've had a man in scoring position all 3 innings. And another walk, back-to-back walks from Stoltz. That's extraordinary. Average is about 2 walks per pitching start. Martin Maldonado lined out to the second baseman Solarte the first time. And the total pitches on his back. Darren Balsley, you're out and calm him down. .53 pitches for number 53. 2 outs in the second.
Get caught up on the latest sports news and updates with Steve Hartman and Mike Costa on Extras 1360 Fox Sports San Diego tonight after Padres Live on Fox Sports San Diego.
And so much to talk about. It's a great time of the sports year with the culmination of the regular season and the thought of the playoffs upcoming and the start of the collegiate and National Football League season. Big race at Del Mar yesterday, the $1 Million Pacific Classic. Maldonado. Lots of power, although it doesn't show in his totals because he doesn't play that much with Luke Croy, the regular catcher. Change up, ball 1. It's only his 24th start of the season, Maldonado. A relaxed Lucroy. Goodness, Stoltz struggling here with his control.
Yeah, the command is not there. He's elevated a lot of pitches. See this inning, 20 pitches already, but he has slowed up his pace as well.
2-0, driven to left field. It's in the alley. Smith races over, can't get there, plays it on a hop. That'll score another run. It's 3-1 as Davis gallops home, and Weeks on to third as Maldonado knocks in his 15th run of the year. He fell behind, and Maldonado got something he could handle.
Well, again, in the hitter's count, watch the location of this pitch right on the belt line. You could see him serving that into left center as Chris Davis scores.
So Stoltz only the 3rd strike he'd thrown in the last 13 pitches, and Maldonado knocks in a run with a line drive single. first and third to Segura. Strike one.
That's the location Eric Steltz needs, and he's been getting that the whole month of August. That downward plane. You don't have to throw hard, but you have to locate at this level.
That ball left field. Smith moves up a couple of steps. And the inning comes to an end, but the Brewers get two. A couple of walks and a single, score one. The other comes home on Ryan Braun's 17th home run of the season. They had Chris Davis picked off, but unable to throw him out, and that led to the third run of the inning. A couple of walks and Maldonado's RBI single as we go to the last of the third. Kyle Loesch take to a 3-1 lead. Will face Seth Smith, then Grandal and Gobert. Smith walked his first time. Takes a strike. Well placed, low and outside. In a way, the Padres fortunate they're trailing only 3-1. The Brewers in 3 innings have left 4 men on base that were in scoring position. Fouled at the plate. 1-2. th major league season for Kyle Loesch. Minnesota, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Cincinnati, St. Louis. Second year in Milwaukee. Drive to center field. Gomez plenty of room. Now has to come in for it. Ball not carrying that well tonight, but Ryan Braun's line drive cleared the boards. As we check our major league leaders, win percentage since 2011, and there's Kyle Loesch in the number 6 position, 52-28.
Yeah, guy, just a workhorse. That's the reason why the Milwaukee Brewers signed him to a 3-year deal. Eating innings, but also winning big games and being at that playoff level, which he can lend his expertise to a lot of these young players in the Milwaukee Brewers system.
140 career wins for Loesch. Change up. 1-1 to Grandal, who fly to center his first at bat. Well, the Padres come home from a road trip, 3-7, and they've enjoyed their action here at Petco. They're 34-27, one of the better records in the National League. In fact, I think that's the best of any of the National League West teams. Taking a check of that.
It is the best record of any NL West team.
Well, they played solid baseball, and really that road trip record didn't indicate how well they played.
Grandal with a weak wave at strike 3. Second strikeout for Loesch. And the 2-way brings up Jake Gobert.
You go back to that St. Louis Cardinals series, Dick, and I thought the Padres played much better than the results that happened. A lot of close games that they didn't pull off, and the record really indicated it was a tough road trip, but they played solid baseball, especially at the beginning of that trip.
Well, you go to the Dodgers series, and one pitch cost Tyson Ross a win over the talented Clayton Kershaw. And Loesch now throwing strikes, huh?
That game was so fun to watch. You go back to that Tyson Ross game, and yes, it's that one pitch, it's the backup slider that he threw. But you live and die with that one pitch. But I saw fastball aggressiveness, moving, plate all over the place.
Weeks takes that one out of the hole and throws out Gobert. And for the first time tonight, we have a 1-2-3 inning. Brewers lead by 2. Presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer or go to Buick.com. By Petco, the power of together. And by your San Diego Lexus dealer. Underway, top of the 4th. Kyle Loesch, the pitcher, then the top of the order, Gomez and Lucroy. Loesch sacrificed his first time. Has 7 hits this year. 460 at-bats in his major league career. He's never hit a home run.
Yeah, much quicker pace by Eric Stultz coming out of the dugout this inning.
Fouled in and out of the glove of Grandal. Loesch still alive. Yeah, playing on the beach tonight. Future Padre faithful. Swing and a miss. And that for Eric Stultz is his first strikeout tonight. Carlos Gomez, since he became a Brewer in 2010, you can see the numbers each year. You look at 2014, he's probably going to wind up in the high 20s in home runs. Might drive in more than 80.
He's made a huge adjustment in his game and very inconsistent when he was in a Minnesota Twins uniform.
Off the tip of the glove of Solarte, and Gomez has his second hit.
And when you talk about Gomez, I think it has a lot to do with confidence. What he's taught himself to be in the game and his consistency. As we take a look at this slow breaking ball that Ryan Braun hit, He ends up going right up the middle, and the Phantom Cam shows right off the barrel of the bat, and staying through the baseball, just off the tip of the glove. Good effort by Solarte.
Lucroy has flied to right and grounded to short. Takes a strike. Gomez with his 28th stolen base, the first time he reached safely. Ground ball fielded nicely by Solarte. He throws out Lucroy. Solarte has taken a couple of hits away from the Brewers tonight. Gomez moves to second, 2 away.
Well, Solarte continues to impress, and you see Lucroy going the other way. I thought this was going to go into right field, and diving play and a nice play. And good glove work by Yangervis Solarte.
Gomez showing gets on the base to even extend his height advantage over Amarista. Ryan Braun 2 for 2, an infield hit off Stultz's glove and a home run. Another runner in scoring position for the Brewers. Slider strike to start Braun. Highest career slugging percentage at Petco. LaRoche loves playing here. So does Buster Posey. And Ryan Braun, 609 slugging percentage. Remember that game early in 2012, 3 home runs and a triple. Pops him up. Should be a play. High in the air. Gobert. Oh, hang in there, Jake. It all counts as an out. They get Braun, and they leave another man in scoring position. Middle of the 4th inning. The Padres trailing the Brewers here at Petco 3. Ram Truck's tools of the trade focuses on the leg kick.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the leg kick from Seth Smith. That front foot initiates the leg kick, and then that right knee elevates to drive the bat head through the strike zone. Once he gets that leg kick, he gets the front foot down.
We'll revisit that as Maven swings at the first pitch and fouls out to first baseman LaCroix.
But if we look at this leg kick and from Seth Smith, and this was a huge moment, that front foot gets down, and then the bat head with that rotation drives through the baseball. That was opening night against the Dodgers, where a pinch hit home run. Seth Smith has been perfecting that leg kick. Good timing mechanism and driving through the ground.
Amarista tripled into the left field corner, drove in the Padre run in the second. Padres eventually loaded the bases but couldn't add on. And now trail 3-1. 2-0. Amarista. Mark Loretta joins us down by the Padre dugout.
Hi, guys.
Good to have you with us, Mark. Checking on Kyle Loesch. What do you see?
Well, Kyle's just a veteran guy. He's got good stuff, but he knows how to pitch. In and out with the fastball, decent breaking ball and changeup. He's not an easy guy to put string hits together on.
2-1, Amarista.
Mark, what would your approach be against Kyle Loesch?
You know, Swings, I think this is more of a guy to wait out for me. I'd feel, more comfortable or seeing some pitches off him and really not scared to get 2 strikes on me to face this guy.
Does that have a lot to do with him not having an out pitch and him having to locate? You'd want to see as many pitches early in the game as possible?
Yeah, I know. You used to say, this guy is a classic nibbler, and that's what he kind of is. He's all over the corners and the edges, and I think you just got to wait him out to see if he can make a mistake.
3-2. Amarista. Ground ball to the right side, and Weeks with an easy play. 2 away. Loesch now has retired the last 6 in order since the bases were loaded in the second inning. Padres getting the 1 run. Chris Nelson walked the first time. It was a pitch around. 3rd walk from Loesch. Right side. Weeks gets a big hop, skids for the catch, and he can't get him. Nelson legs it out. Running hard right out of the batter's box and rewarded with an infield hit. Chris Nelson.
Let's take a look at the swing by Chris Nelson, and that leg kick gets the foot down early, and he can drive the baseball the other way. Ricky Weeks makes a nice play at this, but Chris Nelson smells that hit, puts his head down, and safe at first.
Weeks unable to get a strong throw over to the first baseman, and Nelson legs it out. Here's Stoltz. Stoltz sacrificed his first time.
Yeah, they're checking on the play. This is what I do not like about this whole process. Ron Renicky heads out.
No, that's too late. That's too much time.
It sure is.
No, there ought to be some limit. And in fact, see, until the umpires say, no, you waited too long here. Otherwise, why don't we just watch the whole game on television and decide whether every play is out or safe? There ought to be some responsibility on the part of managers to say, I challenge right now. That's what, in the NFL, you got to throw that flag within seconds if you want to get the replay call. And here it's just they're inviting the time delays.
Yeah, they're delaying a process as we take a look on the left side. That ball entering the glove, that's what the umpires are looking at in the contact with first base.
And they're saying that Nelson didn't beat it out, so it's overturned. He's called out. Didn't take long for that. The time was delayed, so Milwaukee got it right before the umpires.
Padres have run on 3 hits. A look at Aramis Ramirez having a red-hot August, .416. His batting average in 20 games. And Ramirez an RBI single tonight.
First third baseman in franchise history to start the All-Star game. An RBI machine and a middle of the order presence for the Milwaukee Brewers.
High fly ball to deep center field. Maven going back to the wall, leaps, and it's gone. Well, right on cue, Ramirez takes the first pitch and hikes it right over the center field wall for his 14th home run of the year, and it's 4-1 Milwaukee. That was a Ruthian job.
Let's take a look at the location on the pitch. Right down the middle, you see Grandal's glove leading to the middle, but what a powerful swing. The leg kick, getting the foot down and driving it to center field.
For Eric Stoltz, his second home run given up tonight. He's been touched up 23 times on the season. Yeah, that brings a smile to Ramirez, the veteran infielder. Shot to short. Amarista gloves and throws out Davis.
Oh, nice hands by Alexi Amarista.
The 23 home runs moves Stoltz into the third spot in the National League. Estrada 28, Aaron 25, and now Stoltz with 23. Something he's not done here in August. He's been very tough. Only a 1.46 ERA coming into this game in 4 starts in August. Ricky Weeks ground out and a walk. Curveball strike.
Dan Balsley, the pitching coach, on the phone to the bullpen. Eric Stoltz spot is due up first in the next part of the inning. Good changeup by Eric.
First up is Blaine Boyer. 2 strikes on Weeks, 1 out, another run in, and a 4-1 Milwaukee lead. Brew Crew enjoy hitting at Miller Park. Hitters Park indeed. And they've shown they've got the power that fits any major league stadium, including this one. That'll make your cheesehead yellow. Weeks rips one into the left field corner on his way for 2. Smith gets it in. All 3 balls in this inning. Rockets a home run. A shot by Davis right at Amarista, grounding out. And now Weeks, a clothesline double to left. Martin Maldonado steps in.
It's all location tonight. You see the slider that's flat on the top part of the strike zone. Ricky Weeks drills this ball down the left field line.
Maldonado line to second. A good play made by Solarte. And line to single, an RBI hit in the third to left field. That'll be out of play.
Yeah, a lot of comfortable swings from the Milwaukee Brewers.
Weeks at second. 1 out here in the 5th. Brewers now have a 3-run lead. That was the 364th career home run for Ramirez. Quite a career.
ball, 2 strikes. Maldonado.
And that's one of the best fastballs Eric Stultz has thrown tonight on that inside part of the plate. Talked about the success in August with Eric Stultz, and a lot of it had to do with his fastball command down in the strike zone.
Way outside. Count levels at 2-2 to the Milwaukee catcher. But Black hoping that Stultz can get through this 5th inning without any more damage done, and that will allow him to pinch hit for him to lead off the bottom half of the inning. Don't want to use a relief pitcher here, and then you waste a man way outside. Last 2 pitches considerably off the plate. Full count to Maldonado.
You're right, Dick. If Buddy chooses to get Stultz in this inning, I think he'd have to double switch and keep his reliever in for the next inning. So look for that.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark.
Mark, what does Eric Stultz look like down there? It looks like the command of the fastball hasn't been as sharp tonight.
No, he hasn't been sharp tonight. Swings, you're right. I think just the elevated fastball really elevated all his pitches. Even the curveball that Braun hit was elevated. And I think he's just not driving the fastball down in the zone tonight like he has over the last several starts.
Carlos Gomez, a lot of little kid in him. Full count. Strike 3 called, and Maldonado knew it. Second strikeout for Stultz. Well, tomorrow we invite you to catch a special college football preview edition, SD Live, featuring former Aztec quarterback, current college football analyst Kevin O'Connell, and USD head football coach Dale Lindsey. Plus, we go extreme downhill skateboarding. That's all tomorrow after Padres Live, right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Mike Pomerantz does a great job on that show.
What an immense talent.
Oh.
Huh?
I get to sit next to him on a daily basis.
Rub shoulders with greatness.
Yes.
Huh? Intentionally walking Segura to get to the pitcher Loesch. That gives us a chance to add a footnote on Aramis Ramirez home run, his 364th. That's 6th all time among third basemen. So that's the quiz. Who's the number 1 home run hitting third baseman? Give you folks a chance to think about it, and I think the answer will become quite apparent. Hall of Famer, third baseman.
I think I have an idea.
Go ahead.
Say Michael Jack Schmidt.
I think you're right on. 509 homers for Schmidt, the all-time home run hitting third sacker. Not bad, Ramirez, 364. So Loesch up, first and second. 2 outs. He sacrificed and struck out. The Brewers with a runner in scoring position every inning, and should they strand Weeks out at second, it'll be 6 men left on base in scoring position at the end of an inning. Loesch, a good rip, and it's 1-1. St. Louis has won a 3-2 game over Pittsburgh, a game and a half behind Milwaukee at the start. Rolled foul. And the Brewers know that, and thus would like a win to hold on to their slim lead over the Cardinals.
Yeah, Dick, this is scoreboard watching time, and we go down to Mark Loretta. Who will you have winning this NL Central, Mark?
I think I got the Brew Crew. Sweens. I just think their lineup is very balanced and consistent, and if they get healthy on the mound with Garza coming back, I think it's a key for them. But I look for, actually all 3 of those teams may make the playoffs. St. Louis, Milwaukee, and Pittsburgh, that is.
Pittsburgh losing tonight, so they currently are 5.5 out. Boy, Cincinnati has fallen off the radar, haven't they?
Yeah, no Joey Votto. Brandon Phillips just came back.
2-2.
but Mark's right. They could have 3 teams that make the playoffs with that extra playoff wild card team. You know, a lot of people say they're not believing in the Milwaukee Brewers. Well, Ron Renneke has done a tremendous job with this roster. They started off 18-6.
Another foul. Well, they've been in first place all but 4 days of the season. 143 of the 147 days of the season. Renneke's Brewers have been on top. There's a wild card situation. San Francisco will have something to say about that.
Yeah, a lot of cheese heads out there excited about Milwaukee Brewer baseball.
Strike 3 call. Another runner left in scoring position, but at the halfway mark, it's the Brewers 4, Padres 1. Padres baseball brought to you by Saquon, real friendly and real close. By Jack in the Box. Try Jack's spicy chicken club combo, just $4.99 plus tax. And by the Aramco Group, purchase, refinance, reverse. Visit us at aramco.biz. Pinch hitter will be Tommy Medica as you look at one of the many trophies that belong to Tony Gwynn. Gold Glove and Silver Slugger Award, non-Pharrell. Tommy Medica has fallen on some tough times. Average now down to 244. His last hit was on August 14th. Lowe's jumps in front, 2 strikes. Medica, then Solarte and Venable. Tries to get him to bite on that slider wide. Chases and strike 3. Third strikeout for Loesch. Nick Vincent tuning up. Solarte walked and an infield hit. Taking all the way, curveball strike. Venable on deck. Pops him up left side. Segura into the outfield grass. 9 in a row retired by Kyle Loesch. And a look at our AT&T fan photo tonight. Tweet your photo to hashtag SD fan photo. A chance to be shown in an upcoming telecast brought to you by AT&T. And Ashley contributing a couple of smiling Padre fans.
Yeah, cheese. Floppy hats by Ashley. That was a nice picture.
Will Venable has grounded out and struck out. Big opportunity for the Padres in the second. They had scored a run on Amarista's triple and had the bases loaded.
Now the high fastball was exposed to Will Venable his last at bat.
And he sweeps that one to the first baseman, Lucroy, and it's another 1-2-3 inning. 3 straight innings. It's been Loesch retiring the side in order. We're going to see Carlos Gomez, top of the 6th. As the Milwaukee Brewers on Aramis Ramirez scored in the first inning, that RBI single. Alexi Amarista's triple into the left field corner tied the game at 1 as Maven came around to score. But back come the Brewers. Ryan Braun with a line drive home run over the left center field fence made it 2-1. Braun's 17th homer of the year. Maldonado with an RBI single made it 3-1. And then Aramis Ramirez, his 14th home run of the season over the center field wall. And that's where we stand now, 4-1. Our Harrah's game summary. As the first place Brewers starting tonight a game and a half in front of the St. Louis Cardinals in the National League Central. The Cardinals have won. Gomez a single, a stolen base in the first inning, flied out, singled again in the fourth. Blaine Boyer, the pitcher. Swing and a miss. Our Drew Ford pitching change. Boyer's numbers.
And you see those numbers against right-handers, 111. Outstanding. The improved curveball, fastball command. It's been a nice addition for Bud Black and his bullpen.
.95 on his fastball. We didn't see that kind of velocity in spring training.
Yeah, and you saw a really good curveball in spring training. He didn't even think of the velocity. And then when he got up here, he started throwing mid-90s, locating to both sides of the plate.
Two and one to Gomez. Another fastball. Lucroy and then Braun to follow.
These are the times that Carlos Gomez tries to pick out a pitch middle in.
challenged him.
And he lets it fly. That's the reason why velocity. You throw it by that big swing of his. And a lot of conversations in the batter's box with himself.
Clubhouse meeting with himself, huh?
It's a long one.
2-2. Anybody answering? 96 on a fastball just out of the zone. You hear somebody yell from the dugout, how can you take that pitch? Just wide.
Just wide.
Jammed him. You can see how tight he is to home plate. He couldn't get his hands through on that ball on the inside corner.
I think he was sitting the breaking ball there, and that was an emergency swing.
Slider pulled to third. Nice play by Nelson, leaning into the hole to throw out Gomez. And it's time for our Saquon Casino Daycation statistic of the game. Fewest strikeouts by batters this season, and despite the fact their home run swinging lineup, Milwaukee Brewers are the third toughest team to strike out, behind the Cardinals and the D-backs.
A lot of experienced hitters will grind out at bats. Anytime you have a good year, you know you're consistent with your approach, especially offensively, and they've been very impressive tonight so far.
Lucroy held hitless 0 for 3, a couple of ground outs and a fly ball to right. Ball 1. The top end of the order for Ron Renicky is imposing. Think about it. The Padres leader in home runs is Seth Smith with 12. Milwaukee started with Gomez, the leadoff man, with 21. Lucroy has 13 homers. Braun hit his 17th tonight. Ramirez hit his 14th tonight. Chris Davis has 20, the first 5 guys in the order. Sluggers.
I'll change the thinking of some pitching and how you're going to attack the first 5 guys in this order. So many times we talk about a presence in the middle of the lineup, and they have a presence at the top of their lineup as well. And Carlos Gomez.
He not only sets the table, he eats the blue plate special. 4-pitch walk, and Lucroy's on for the first time. 1-out walk brings up Ryan Braun.
We'll go down to Mark Loretta. And he played many years in a Milwaukee Brewers uniform. Those fans are very passionate, as well they should be. This is a successful team that's playing very well.
Absolutely, Mark Sweeney. You know, you and I were teammates in Milwaukee, and it's almost amazing to say the sentence, the first place Milwaukee Brewers. When we were there, I played 8 seasons there, and we never finished above 500. So they've really changed the culture and the identity of this team. They've always had a great fan base, as you mentioned, but they've really turned their whole organization around.
We're on 2 for 3, including the home run. What was your rookie year or your first year in Milwaukee, Mark?
I got called up in September of 1995 and left in 2002.
Owner Mark Antanasio there, watching his team in action. Made the West Coast trip. Runner goes. Foul back, little hit and run. Well, I was fortunate. My first World Series at NBC, joining Joe Garagiola and Tony Kubek, the '82 World Series Milwaukee team, won 7 games, and St. Louis prevailed. That was quite a team. Cecil Cooper and Robin Yount,
I love
Paul
Cecil
Molitor,
Cooper.
Stormin Gorman Thomas.
Oh yeah,
Jim Gantner.
Yeah, you got to love Jim Gantner.
Ben Ogilvie. I love. Yeah, great names.
They were free swinging. Harvey Keene's brew crew.
Harvey's wall bangers.
Wall bangers, yeah. Harvey downed a few of those himself. Ground ball up the middle and through into center field. Another Braun hit. He's got 3 hits tonight. 10 now for the Brewers as a team. They have first and second again. Every inning they've had a man reach scoring position. Yeah, Braun hasn't forgotten how to hit against the Padres. Showed you earlier he's had a great career against San Diego pitching. So first and second, 1 out, and here's Ramirez. RBI single and a home run and a fly to center. On the outside edge at 95.
Down there, Mark Loretta next to the dugout. You talk about Jonathan Lucroy is at second base right now. Do you think he's in the conversation for NL MVP?
I think he's on the outside looking in, Sweens. I think he's a tremendous player, but I'm not sure I would put him in the same category as a Stanton or a Kershaw.
And you okay with giving a pitcher the MVP in the NL?
No, I'm not actually.
That's the infielder bias, huh?
Don't make me bloviate over it either. Because it's no, I think the MVP should be for a position player and not a pitcher. I think the pitchers have the Cy Young Award, and I don't think they obviously you need pitching to win, but if you only factor in 35 or so games in the year, tough for me to say that's the most important player on that particular team. But Sweens, maybe we'll have a beer after the game and talk about it.
Yeah, I mean it's a great discussion because you talk about a dominating year.
Line drive hooking into the left field corner, and a fair ball bounces up against the wall. That's a ground rule double. Only 1 run will score. As coming home is Lucroy, and it's 5-1. Braun moves to third on a double by Ramirez. Boy, Ramirez and Braun each with 3 hits tonight, and he's just shy a triple of the cycle. Ramirez, and not that he's got the speed to get one, but you never know.
Well, just a swing by Ramirez, and you see the consistency working down and in and pulling his hands in and getting the barrel to the baseball. It's an impressive power swing, but you can see the adjustments making pitch by pitch.
Chris Davis takes ball 1. He is grounded out, walked, and a shot to short, but right at Amarista as the infield playing up, trying to cut the runner at third. Braun at the plate, already a 5-1 Milwaukee lead. Two 2-0 with first base open, and Ricky Weeks on deck.
Guys, this day and age, the sabermetric guys tend to poo-poo the clutch hitter, but I think if you look at a guy like Aramis Ramirez, he defines that. He gets better concentration, more locked in with guys in scoring position.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's hitting .344 now on the season with runners in scoring position. That's the kind of man you want in the middle of your lineup. And it's the kind of hitter the Padres, as you look ahead to the future of this ball club, you've got to find a hitter like that.
Exactly right. I mean, they set the tone for your lineup. Guys ahead of him have to get on.
They green-light him 3-0, and he swung at ball 4.
Yeah, and I don't know your thoughts, Mark Sweeney, but to me, it's as much of an attitude as an ability. You've got to want to be in that situation. They're guys that, even at the major league level, sort of cower and shy away from the big stage, but the guys who don't are special.
I agree wholeheartedly because it is a commitment. It's also a process.
Davis to left field. Smith can't make the play. 2 more runs are going to score. Well, 1 will score. They had to hold, and into second goes Davis. A double that brings home Braun, and it's a 6-1 game. Runners had to hold because for a moment it looked that Seth Smith is going to make the catch on Davis's ball.
Well, location down and away, and Chris Davis gets the end of the bat on the baseball and benefits from that. And it's nice effort by Seth Smith. This ball dies in front of him.
Used his body to keep it from going all the way to the wall and save another run.
credit that effort.
Second and third for Ricky Weeks, who doubled his last time. 2 home runs.
Yeah, all hands on deck now.
3 doubles. Infield tight now. High drive to right field, playable, but that'll get another run home as Venable makes the catch. Both runners tag. In comes Ramirez, and over to third is Davis. Sacrifice fly for Weeks, his 24th RBI of the year, bringing in Ramirez. A 3-run inning for the Brewers as they now lead 7-1.
Well, Mark Loretta just talked about RBI situations, committing it. When you have a guy like Aramis Ramirez in the middle of your order doing just that, it's very contagious for the other club. That's the reason why you're seeing the Brewers continue to play in first place. As an example to watch every single day.
Maldonado. Pretty good pitch.
That ball's right there.
Maldonado an RBI single in 3 trips, and he lined out as well.
See our Fox tracks by Southland Technology. That catches the bottom part of the strike zone.
Pitcher's pitch. Davis at third, 2 outs now. 3-run 6th inning for the Bashers from Brewtown. Everyone in the lineup with a base hit except for Loesch, the pitcher. 7 runs, 12 knocks. Ramirez leading the way with 3 RBIs. RBI single, RBI, of course, on the home run, RBI double. Well, 1-2 the count.
Just an impressive display of offensive execution tonight, guys. It's just been some loud, hard contacts. And Dick, you mentioned that in the graphic earlier. They don't strike out a lot, and to me, that's huge.
For the big swings that they take, they're big but controlled, huh? And he's caught looking. Maldonado. First strikeout for Blaine Boyer, but a rough inning for Boyer. 3 runs for the Brewers. They now lead by 6. To the bottom of the 6th inning, and our San Diego fans of the game, we salute our youngsters here to cheer on their Padres. Enjoy Major League Baseball and this beautiful baseball facility. Thanks for coming tonight, guys and girls. See you back again before school fully in session. I guess some kids already back to school.
Yeah, a lot of schools starting.
Seth Smith trying to end this string of outs. Kyle Loesch has retired 10 in a row. Smith has walked and flied to center. Loesch with the extreme comfort now of a 6-run pad, leading 7-1 as he goes for his 12th win of the year. Talking about the playoff potential of this Milwaukee team. Foul back. You know, Willie Peralta has given them a terrific season.
Yes.
And he's won 15 games. You got Loesch looking for his 12th win. Gallardo, we'll see him on Wednesday night, is 8-7. It's been an off year for him. Ground ball up the middle. That'll skip into center field for a base hit. Smith with the Padres' 4th hit of the night. Make that the 5th hit.
You take a look at the swing by our Phantom Cam and going down and using those legs to drive this ball up the middle, and the hands continuing through the baseball. Seth Smith impresses by his consistency and his approach at the plate.
4th hit, but Nelson had that 5th hit taken away on the challenge back in the 4th inning. So perhaps that'll get something going here for the Padres as Grandal steps up. He's flied to center and struck out. It was a shaky start for Loesch. He walked 2 men in the 1st inning, and he averages less than 2 walks per 9 innings on the season. The Padres ran themselves out of an inning. Then they knocked in a run on the single by Maben, triple Amarista, and loaded the bases. But Venable struck out to leave them stranded in the 2nd, and since then it's been very quiet until Smith's single to open the 6th inning. 3-0. And ball 4. 4-pitch walk. A couple men aboard. One swing could make it more interesting, couldn't it?
Well, Dick, you talk about the records of the starting pitchers for the Milwaukee Brewers, and 25 starts of Kyle Loesch. The team is 16-9 in his starts, but the thing that really sticks out in my mind, he's been a victim of a team-leading 6 blown saves in those starts. For the Padres, just chipping away, trying to give themselves an opportunity for that 7th blown save.
Rick Krantz gets on the phone to the bullpen, the pitching coach for the Brewers. Jake Gobert takes strike 1.
Well, Mark Loretta down near the dugout for the Padres now, and just trying to focus and change their thought process in their 3rd at bats against Kyle Loesch.
Absolutely, Sweens, and I think they've got him a little bit tired here. He's missing location, so if they can get it, possibly hit a mistake, there's a good take by Jake right there. Those are the kind of pitches they got to lay off.
Checking Kyle Loesch's season record. Left-hander Duke gets ready. He walked 5 men in the 2nd game, 2nd start of the season, and that is the most until tonight. He's walked 4. This is the 2nd most. 1-1, and flip foul back. Gobert has popped to 2nd and grounded to 2nd. Chargers San Diego fan. Final preseason game is a Thursday night against Arizona for the footballers. Another foul. No one out here in the Padres 6th. They've got 2 men aboard. Smith with a single, Grandal a walk. Swing and a miss. Changeup. And Gobert takes the long walk. That's 4 strikeouts for Loesch.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
One away here in the 6th, and Cameron Maben, the hitter, singled and scored the Padres' only run. Came home on Amarista's triple left field corner in the 2nd inning. Fouled out the last time. Check swing, went around.
Well, those are the things that I think the Padres have to improve on moving forward. You're looking for a fastball, you get that hard slider out of the strike zone, and now you're starting the at-bat 0-1.
Goes out there again, but Maben takes 1-1.
And that's what a veteran pitcher is going to try to do. Try to move that ball around, try to give you different looks. It's already seen Cameron Maben expand in the strike zone tonight. Now you have to cut your swing down, use the middle of the field.
Foul back, hard at the plate. Got himself a fastball, couldn't connect. Strike 3 called. Maben caught looking. That's 5 strikeouts for Loesch. And we take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your Honda dealers of San Diego County.
Well, you can see Stelz did not continue his hot August. 5 innings, 9 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, but he also gave up the home runs and early run support. Only Amarista's RBI triple in the 2nd inning is the offense for the Padres.
So the keys tonight locked the door, didn't open it for the Padres. Here's Amarista with 2 out, 2 on. Loesch, interestingly, is one of 3 active players that are Native American. Nomiaki tribe, I believe that's in Northern California. Jova Chamberlain and Jacob Ellsbury are the other 2 Native Americans in the big leagues. Throw to second base, and they get him. Not even sliding with Seth Smith as he's picked off second. And that brings out some boos from the Padre fans as the inning comes to an end. Promising start, very disappointing finish. And after 6, the Brewers 7-1. Maldonado a strike. Today's baseball brought to you by Petco, the power of together, and by your San Diego Lexus dealer. Bright lights of Petco Park. of the cruise ships bringing tourists around our fine city. Look at the heart of the city from the water. A line drive to right field at Venable, and the first pitch slapped by Segura for an out. One away to Kyle Loesch, and he is not going to bat. Lyle Overbay is going to pinch hit, the veteran left-handed hitting first baseman outfielder. Loesch goes 6 innings, allows the Padres only 1 run and 4 hits, walked 4 and struck out 5. Overbay has been a solid contributor off the bench as a pinch hitter this year.
Well, having a veteran presence off the bench.
9 for 20. Lane Boyer into his second inning. Gave up 3 runs in the 6th. Yeah, Pabst Blue Ribbon, one of the many Milwaukee breweries. Now it's no Coors, mind you.
No.
Remember way back, the game of the week was sponsored by a Milwaukee brewery, Ham's Beer.
Ham's, that's right. I remember that.
Of course, Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
I could never say that. I'm not going to try.
Carefully,
either.
carefully.
Yeah. It's one of those words you got to be very careful saying.
Especially after you've had a few bottles of it. 2-1 the count. Overbay. In there. 91. LaCroix, the only Brewer without a hit, but he does have a walk and scored a run. Good. Braun and Ramirez, 3 for 4, each of those two in the middle of the lineup. Check swing, and the count is full. One of the more attractive costumes, that cheese head.
Those fans are getting excited for their Packers.
Line to left, and Overbay delivers a pinch single. 1 out, and to the top of the order, and Carlos Gomez. Born on this date in 1946. Rolling Fingers, Raleigh. Athletics, Padres, and Brewers. And the Hall of Fame.
And the Hall of Fame mustache.
Line to left field, and Gomez has his 3rd hit. Boy, they're teeing off on Boyer tonight. That's the 5th hit in an inning and a 3rd.
Let's see the approach by Gomez, and sees the breaking ball. He sees it out of the hands of Boyer very early. And on our Phantom cam, you could see that palm up, palm down, and straight through the baseball. Impressive approach by Gomez tonight.
7 straight innings the Brewers have reached scoring position each of the 7 innings. 1 out to Lucroy. Grounded out twice, fly to right, and walked and scored. Played for the Ragin' Cajuns at University of Louisiana Lafayette. Danny Farquhar, the relief pitcher for Seattle, was a teammate. Talking with him, he quickly reminded me that Ron Guidry was an alum of that institution. Louisiana Lightning.
I did not know that.
Alex Torres warming up. 2-0. And a strike at the knees.
Yeah, that's where you want to work. And you see the velocity going down for Blaine Boyer. sitting right around 91, 92. We saw 95, 96 earlier.
More pitches than he normally would be asked to throw. 38 so far. One out. Overbay at second and Gomez at first.
Yeah, looking for that ground ball.
3-1. LaCroix very tough to strike out. In fact, the 5th toughest in the league. Good eye. He'll use the entire field. A doubles specialist leading the National League in that category, 43. And ball 4. The bases are loaded. That pushes Gomez to second and Overbay over to third. Second walk from Boyer. This may be one of those games where, with the score 7-1, Boyer, in essence, is the relief pitcher version of the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
Save the bullpen. You're in there.
Well, what makes it tough is it's the first game of the series, so you want to try to get some sort of length from Eric Stultz tonight. Now, Blaine Boyer being that guy that's throwing a lot of pitches.
Gerardo Parra, remember him with the Arizona Diamondbacks? Trade made at the deadline this year. He's been a pesky hitter against the Padres, giving Ryan Braun the rest of the night off. Bases full, 1 out. Comes out swinging. Changeup. Always like this. Parra, he's an excellent outfielder, terrific arm. Often when he's playing a lot, leads outfielders in assists. Rips that one, and Gobert able to make the play at first as another run scores. It's 8-1. Credit Parra with a ground out RBI. That brings home Overbay. Runners move up to second and third. Gomez to third. LaCroix to second. And Aramis Ramirez, a triple shy of the cycle tonight, is the hitter. And each of his base hits driving in a run. Now has 61 runs batted in as the pitching change is made and the double switch by Bud Black. And that'll give us a chance to pause for these words. We'll return to Petco in a moment.
single? How about an RBI double? Oh, you want the RBI from the long ball over 400 feet over the center field fence. Ramirez lighting it up against Eric Stoltz in the 5th inning, and that made the score at the time 4-1. They've doubled it, the Brewers, since 8-1. And Ramirez, another chance to drive in a run. Man at second and a man at third as Alex Torres takes over.
Yeah, you see the better average against right-handed hitters. That's the reason why Alex Torres is in the game, with that command of the changeup.
Second and third, 2 away. A run scored here in the 7th. And Ramirez, already a terrific night. 3 hits, including a home run, and 3 runs batted in, and 2 runs scored. 2 Brewers in scoring position. Gomez at third and Lucroy at second.
Well, the situation that's scary here, Dick, is that veteran hitters will tend to sit on that off-speed pitch. They know the scouting report on Alex Torres, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ramirez sat changeup the whole entire at bat. He knows the base is open at first base. It's an 8-1 ball game, but that's what you got to be fearful of with a veteran hitter like Ramirez.
All the guile of a 36-year-old hitter, Ramirez. And he takes a strike, 1-1.
Well, it'll all be an indication, too. You see the fastball down in the strike zone, but didn't look like he was ready for that fastball.
Chase, the changeup.
Yeah, great arm speed by Alex Torres on that changeup. Giving that same appearance of that first fastball and working off the edge of the plate.
We're in the 7th inning, and the Brewers are pounding the Padres 8-1. Not much of a homecoming for San Diego. Milwaukee starting a 3-stop road trip. 3 here, then up north, 3 against the Giants, and then they go to Chicago for 3 with the Cubs before returning home. It'll be September then. Need a win tonight to stay 1.5 in front of St. Louis. The 2-2 pitch.
See if he goes back to that changeup.
Chases the fastball. And the inning comes to an end. A run on 2 more hits for the Brewers, and they lead it 8-1. Stretch half of the 7th here at Petco. The Padres trailing 8-1. And changes now for Milwaukee. As we remind you first, after the game on Fox Sports San Diego, stay tuned for Padres Live with Mike Pomerantz and Mark Loretta. There'll be a instructional bunting for beginners, how to use that bat and move the runner along. A look at the National League Central breakdown and how these belting Brewers are holding on to first place. That's all and more on Padres Live after the game on Fox Sports San Diego, brought to you by Cox. Zach Duke, left-handed pitcher, 31 years of age. Was a starter for the Pittsburgh Pirates back a few years ago.
Well, he's done a tremendous job out of the bullpen and changing arm angles and different looks, and especially against left-handers. And Parra stays in right field, replacing Ryan Braun.
And Mark Reynolds takes over at third for Ramirez. Another home run hitter, Reynolds. And Overbay for Lucroy as Ron Renicky with the luxury of giving his starters a couple of innings off with an 8-1 lead, and Duke starts Amarista with a curveball strike. Accounting for the only run for the Padres back in the 2nd after Maben had singled. Amarista brought him home with a triple to left field. Second triple of the season for Amarista. Chris Nelson, and then the pitcher's spot for the Padres. Liriano is in that 9th spot in the order. Fly ball in foul territory. Reynolds over to take a look, but that's going to be into the dugout of the Brewers. So Liriano will hit 7th if you're keeping score. The pitcher's spot is the 6th spot in the order. And for Milwaukee, Duke is actually in the 4th spot if you're keeping score. 1 and 2. Amarista. Tied him up. Still ranked 3. One around. That'll bring up Chris Nelson.
You see the sinking action by Zach Duke, creating it with a different arm angle, tying up Alexi Amarista on the inside part of the plate. Like you said, Dick, being a starting pitcher in Zach Duke, and now having to transform into a late inning reliever, left-handed specialist.
Yeah, he was twice the starting pitcher in the opening game of the season for the Pittsburgh Pirates and was an all-star back in 2009. Product of Midway, Texas high school. Nelson has walked and grounded out. Actually thought he had a base hit, but Ron Renicky, after a considerable delay, elected to challenge and won the overrule.
Dick, you see the first baseman, Lyle Overbay, way off first base, trying to cover that hole. And when they move over there that far, they have to move up to try to create that different angle and try to get over to first base.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sprint to get to the bag.
Yeah, you don't see many first basemen try to expose themselves that far.
Nelson, a fly ball shallow left center. Gomez is calling, and left fielder Davis says, I want it, and he takes care of the second out, and that'll bring up Reimer Liriano and gives us a chance to go down to Chris Button.
Well, as Reimer comes up to bat, you can't see it because it's tucked inside his jersey, but he wears a rosary every day that his parents gave him when he made the big leagues. Very close with his parents. He's been trying to get them up here. They're going to come stay for a week mid-September. He said he's super excited about it, but keeps the rosary with them every day as a reminder of them.
And so many players incorporate some touch to home. It's a long way for this young man from family and friends.
Well,
nice.
Dick, we got to spend some time with him and his family down in the instructional league for the Padres down in Dominican, and they talked about having that moment when he made it to the big leagues. Not able to get up here for his debut, but sure, seeing their son in a big league uniform is going to be extra special for his parents.
Well, right now, you'd have to say that Liriano's here to stay. I mean, he's made it before September. He's shown his variety of outstanding tools. He is a 5-tool player. And he's getting an education on the spot.
Yeah, and he doesn't look scared at this big league level either. I think that is something that you always worry about from the young players.
He's had just 37 at-bats with 8 hits, including a home run, a long home run here at Petco.
And played very good defense. Aggressive defender in right field. Seen some good throws by him. And also some energy on the base pass, running the ball down the line. I like what I see so far.
Outside, 2-2. Got to remember that Liriano, this is a year in which he's just coming back to 100%. He had Tommy John surgery, so he missed all of last year. And he chases, and a couple of strikeouts for Duke in a 1-2-3 7th inning. After 7, the Brewers with an 8-1 lead.
Over the Padres, top of the 8th inning. Mark Loretta, Mike Pomeranz working on Padres Live, the post-game show. It'll be brought to you, as it always is, by our friends at Cox Communications. And boy, I'll tell you, Mark, the Brewers came out swinging from their heels early.
They sure did, Mike. And they got to the bullpen uncharacteristically. Blaine Boyer getting hit pretty hard tonight. This bullpen's been rock solid all year long, but the Brewers really put on an offensive display tonight.
Yeah, right now it's been one-sided, all Brewers. Hopefully the Padres turn this thing around. When we see you tonight after the final out, we'll give you everything that happened on the field today. We'll also get you caught up on the National League playoff races. In particular, we're going to focus on the National League Central. And our instructional tonight, guys, Mark Loretta teaches you young players and coaches a thing or two about how to bunt properly and manipulate the ball down the first base or third base line. So we'll see you after the last out this evening.
All right, Mike and Mark, Emmy Award-winning Padres Live, the post-game show. Torres into his second inning, struck out Ramirez to close out the 7th, and this is Chris Davis. Davis, an RBI double his last at bat. He's 1 for 3 tonight, including a walk and score to Abraham Almonte for Smith in left field. Davis, Weeks, and Maldonado scheduled here in the 8th inning for Milwaukee. Tomorrow night, Tyson Ross on the hill for the Padres, going for his 12th win against Jimmy Nelson, rookie right-hander for Milwaukee. He's 2-4. And had a big sound to it, a deep drive to center field, and Venable out there at the edge of the grass to make the catch. Long out. Off the bat of Chris Davis brings up Ricky Weeks. There they are, the pitching matchup tomorrow. Ross against Nelson. It'll be first responders night and Taco Tuesday. Hope you'll join us here at Petco. If you can't, we'll be on the air at 6:30 here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Well, there's Mr. Nelson, and we saw Tyson Ross previously. I just can't wait for Tyson Ross's next start, especially after the one he pitched in Los Angeles, locking horns.
Weeks sends one to center. Venable in almost the same spot. He could have stayed right where he was positioned when he made the catch on Davis's ball. I think that one would have reached him without a movement. 2 away.
What you think about Tyson Ross and what he has learned in the game moving forward this year? We saw so many great things last year. Then you coming into this season and becoming an all-star, and you can see that confidence rise every single start. Now it's not just the slider. Now it's fastball command with movement. We're not talking about his command so many times. We're really expecting him to go deeper in ball games and possibly throw that first no-hitter for the Padres.
Well, he was out pitching Clayton Kershaw 1-0 with a win in the 8th inning, and that one hanger and Turner homered. And he just gives you the feeling every time he takes the mound you're going to get a win. So Tyson tomorrow, you'll want to see him in action against Jimmy Nelson, the 25-year-old rookie from the University of Alabama. 1-1. Torres on the comebacker. Whoa! Throws low in the dirt to Gobert, but Gobert able to dig it out. A 1-2-3 inning. The first time tonight the Brewers retired in order. And we remind you that you can catch every strikeout, every game ender, every history-making moment on MLB Whip Around, weeknights at 7 Pacific Time on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Will Smith out of the bullpen to work the 8th inning for the Brewers. Another left-hander, 25 years of age.
See Will Smith, a fastball, slider, curveball, and a changeup. We love this young man, especially against lefties, as you can see. Big, tall left-hander. Gets it up to 93, 96 miles an hour.
He was a draft pick 2007 of the Angels, a 7th-round pick, and then went to Kansas City. And in a trade last year, it sent Norichika Aoki to Kansas City, acquired by the Milwaukee Brewers.
product of Northgate, Georgia High School. 25 years young. He'll face Solarte, Venable, or a pinch hitter. And Seth Smith, so a couple of left-handed hitters scheduled. Ron Renicky brings in the southpaw. Solarte, a switch hitter, turns around. He has a hit and a walk. 1 for 2. Batting left-handed. Abraham Almonte is in Smith's spot. So he'll hit third. .93 on that fastball strike.
Well, Dick, you talk about the Brewers and their balance. 3 lefties out of the bullpen. We already saw Duke. Now we're seeing Will Smith. Tom Gorzolani is also another left-hander, but balance in the bullpen. And Francisco Rodriguez is the closer, having a tremendous year for Ron Renicky and his staff.
Yeah, Frankie with 39 saves. 39 saves. 2-1. Outside.
There's Frankie right in the middle.
Don't think we're going to see him tonight. Remember that fantastic rookie year. Came up a World Series for the Angels in 2002. A line drive, base hit for Jan Solarte, his second hit tonight. 1 left and 1 right. Their 5th hit for the Padres.
That's why I think there's a lot to like from both sides of the plate. Very impressive approach. We've seen the defense from third base. We didn't see defense from second, but now we're seeing both sides of the plate in the swing.
Down toward the end of the bat, but powers it over the shortstop's head.
You see the bow in our phantom cam. That's exactly what happened. You see the vibration when you hit it off the end of the bat. You hit it off the sweet spot, you don't feel anything.
Will Venable takes a strike. Well, you golfers and tennis players, you know the feeling. When you get the sweet spot, it's as if you had no effort at all and the ball jumps.
I don't think I've ever felt the sweet spot in golf.
It's amazing how that ball can sit and laugh at you. Doesn't curve or slide or sink or change up, just sits right there.
Well, mine curves right off the
After
face.
you hit it.
What a challenging game for all of us that have no idea what we're doing in golf.
The big guys make it look so effortless and so easy.
It's that challenge that drives us to get back there.
Yeah, you'll make it. You'll make it. You're going to go for the seniors tour someday. 2 strikes to Venable. High drive to right field. He got a lot of that one. A long run for Parra, but he gets there. Boy, the ball not carrying well at all to right center and center unless it's off the bat of the Brewers. 1 out, and a reminder again, tomorrow night, 6:30, our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego, and you'll get a chance to see Tyson Ross, who has become the ace of the Padres staff and the All-Star. Goes for his 12th win of the year, opposed by rookie Jimmy Nelson, a right-hander who is 2-4. Arguably the best slider in the National League.
Well, my estimation, that's exactly what it is. He has learned how to throw it for a strike, learned how to wipe out a lot of those hitters that he faces with the slider. But now commanding that fastball on both sides of the plate for Tyson Ross.
Abraham Almonte, he's had 53 at-bats since joining the Padres, hitting a respectable .283. Home run. 5 for 18 from the right side, and he takes low 2-0. Well, we're just a week away from the September call-up when Major League rosters can expand to 40. Most everyone thinks that's too many, including Bud Black. But that'll be next Monday, so there'll be some new faces.
in a Padre uniform. Chop foul.
Yeah, we heard Bud Black today talking about expanding the rosters, and I agreed with him. And what he's talking about is you shouldn't have the ability to bring up 40 guys that are on your roster and be able to challenge a team that it brings up 3 or 4 guys. I think that they have to modify that system, and I'd like to see them even designate certain amount of players that can play every single night, so it is fair when it comes to that.
Foul tip. It remains 2-2. So, and I think Bud Black agrees with you that you can call up the extra 15 players and they can be with you, but each game you can designate, let's say, 5 players, so you have a 30-man roster.
And I like that. Maybe a backup catcher, so you can use both of your major league catchers, still have a catcher behind there, and then you have 3 pitchers and maybe a position player that can help you.
Ripped in the left field, so Abraham Almonte delivers a single. Solid at bat for Almonte, so first and second with 1 out. And that'll bring up Yasmani Grandal, who will hit right-handed for the first time.
Our Fanicam checks out the swing of Almonte, and you can see right off the barrel, not much vibration. That's the reason why that hard ringing single goes to left field. Nice swing by Almonte.
So the 2 mid-season acquisitions, Solarte from the Yankees for Chase Headley. Kristen Northia going to Seattle. Almonte to the Padres. They deliver hits here in the 8th inning. All of Yasmani Grandal's success in the power department coming on the left side of the batter's box. All 11 of his home runs. He's only had 46 at bats right-handed.
Yeah, and that's the challenges of being a switch hitter and trying to maintain that. You know, Yasmani Grandal has gone through those knee issues and trying to gain strength during the season, but to maintain 2 swings from both sides of the plate is very difficult. Much better from the left side, as you noted, Dick.
Hit well to right center again. Will the wind hold it up and the weather, night weather, and Gomez able to race into the gap and make the catch. Well, a couple of balls have been well hit. It is dying at the warning pad. So 2 out, and the pinch hitter will be Rene Rivera. Batting for Jake Gobert. Gobert was 0 for 3. Just 6 hits for the Padres, 2 in this inning, Solarte and Almonte. And the only extra base hit, the triple Amarista that drove in the run back in the 2nd inning. .93 misses outside. Cameron Maben would be next, but Jed Jerko has a bat in the on-deck circle. And that's a good sign because Jerko sidelined. Fly ball to right. Routine. Para. And a couple singles, but nothing in the run column for the Padres in the 8th. Here come the Brewers up by 7.
Jr. star of the game. It's third baseman Aramis Ramirez, the veteran, with a single, double, and a home run. 3 runs batted in and scored twice. RBI double to go with his 14th home run of the year. Now with 61 runs batted in on the season. Rene Rivera stays in the game. He's at first base. As Torres, who came into the game to get the final out in the 7th inning, retired the side in order in the 8th, so he's been able to take care of all 4 batters that he has faced. Gene Segura has lined out, walked intentionally, and singled 1 for 3. Two and 0. Brandon Kinsler, a right-hander throwing. 2-1, a changeup. That is kind of surprising to see a left-handed pitcher with a better record facing right-handed hitters, but it is the changeup, isn't it?
Yeah, it has a lot to do with that changeup, and fastball's in.
On the inside corner, 2-2.
And when he has command of that fastball, it makes it very difficult for the right-handers to pick a side of the plate. He gets tremendous arm speed on that changeup and throws it from that same spot.
Just inside. Full count. Well, we had a terrific turnout here on a Monday night. 24,968. Some of the fans have left disappointed that the Padres did not fare better. It's been all Milwaukee, 8-1. And a walk. Leadoff walk will bring up Lyle Overbay, as it is time now for the Cholula flamethrower. Torres, 93.
That's hot sauce.
That's what we're talking about.
That's hot sauce. And fish tacos.
That's tomorrow night. Taco Tuesday. $1 and you get that hot sauce. Cholula.
You a fish taco guy?
I like them, yeah.
Oh, I do too. Halibut fish tacos.
I can even be forced to eat a lobster taco.
Oh,
yes.
They're going to force you?
Yeah. Try me.
I bet you can't put extra lobster on there.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Overbay, as a pinch hitter, singled in the 7th inning and scored. One and one. That bench gets cold and hard in a game like this. In the dirt, 2 balls and a strike.
Well, to the Padres' credit in this second half, especially after the All-Star break, they haven't played many of these games. This one is, you almost have to tip your cap to the approach of the Milwaukee Brewers hitters tonight, because you have to capitalize on mistakes offensively, and this one got away from them very early. But the Padres have not had many games like this, been very close games.
No, it's a shocker, isn't it? Because the Padres have, since the All-Star break, their pitching staff and bullpen been #1 in the National League, and all of a sudden this 8-1 game jumps up at you and grabs you by the throat and say, whoa, what happened here? We're not supposed to get knocked around like this.
Yeah, where it'll grab you too in that first, as we see yonder Alonso on the bench, the first game of the series, it can change things because of the relief pitching and using more guys. And if you look at it, Blaine Boyer tomorrow, I don't know how much work he can get done, and also Alex Torres throwing a lot tonight as Tim Stauffer loosens up.
Boyer threw over 40 pitches in his inning and 2/3. Gave up 4 runs. 42.
5 hits and 4 runs. Swing and a miss. He gets Overbay on a changeup. Second strikeout for Torres. Top of the order.
Well, take a look at the arm speed from the changeup for Alex Torres, and down in the dirt. Overbay selling out on that fastball, and he gets a changeup.
Pinch hitter is Elian Herrera for Carlos Gomez. Gomez one of 3 Brewers with 3 hits tonight. Gomez, Braun, and Ramirez with 3 base knocks.
Yeah, Ron Renicky emptying his bench.
Slicing into the right field corner. If fair, it's trouble. It's just fair. Segura races around third base. He's going to try to score. No, they hold him up as the relay comes in. And the Brewers with a 1-out double off the bat of pinch hitter Herrera at second and third with 1 out.
Herrera comes out swinging on a fastball that's away. I don't think he even knew where that ball was when he swung, and this lands right inside the foul line. You see Ed Cedar holding him down.
He's got to confuse it. Kind of uses the wrist. Either you're going to come this way or no, go that way.
Well, the score will indicate it, and the scoreboard will indicate that holding of the runner.
Infield comes in. Hitter is Mark Reynolds. Free swinging, long ball hitting, strikes out a lot, but boy, he can pound it hard. And that one gets away, no advance.
Well, I think a lot of the Padre fans have seen Mark Reynolds in an Arizona Diamondbacks uniform, where he put up a lot of home run numbers. Also a lot of strikeouts. That's the reason why the Diamondbacks got rid of him.
And then he went to Baltimore the same, but here he is hitting only .203, but look at the home run total, 21 home runs. And he's not a full-time player, but he struck out 113 times. You know what you're getting from him. He runs into one, and ballparks look a little small. 3-0 with first base open. After Reynolds, it'll be Parra. He might, well, I don't think Renicki's going to give him the green light here with an 8-1 lead. Taking all the way, 3-1.
30th pitch for Alex Torres right there.
And Brewers won 2 out of 3 in the series back in April in Milwaukee. They come out swinging to open this 3-game set. High pop-up. Might be a play for Rivera. And he's got it. 2 away. They put him there at first base, and Torres raced over there like he wanted to get a piece of the action.
And Torres went over there. Usually Rene Rivera is throwing out his mask to go after this one.
Kidding Torres as Parra steps up. Runners at second and third. So 8 of the 9 innings, the Brewers have had a man in scoring position, and with the exception of the last inning, they've left a man on base in scoring position every inning but the 8th. And it looks as if it'll be 8 on a 9. Torres can get the job done here as he faces Parra. Parra ground ball RBI in the 7th coming off the bench.
2-0. Able to check. 3-0. Segura, third, walked to start the inning. Moved to third on Gomez's, or man hitting in Gomez's spot. Herrera's double, pinch double. 2 out now, and 3-0 coming up. That's a strike. He has a strong arm, Torres. It doesn't always go where he wants it, but not big in stature. Solid, however. He can throw it 93 miles an hour. 3-1. That one 92.
And you see those pitches right there, just working that outside part of the plate with velocity.
Full count. I told you it's Ross against Jimmy Nelson tomorrow night. Then the Wednesday game, 5:30 our TV time. An unusual 6 o'clock start. I don't think we've had one of those. There's going to be 2 or 3 more as we close out the season. Getaway day for the Brewers. Despaigne is scheduled for the Padres against Gallardo on college night. So I think your tickets say a 7 o'clock start, but it'll be 6 o'clock on Wednesday, and we'll be on the air at 5:30. Ripped to right center, and there's no one there. That'll score 2 more. Parra will hold on a long single. It is 10-1 as Parra comes off the bench and accounts for 3 runs batted in. 10 runs on 16 hits. This has got to be close to the toughest pounding the Padres have taken at home this year.
Here's a swing on our Phantom Cam, and 3-2 gets that fastball and drills it off the barrel of the bat and shoots the gap for Gerardo Parra.
So a pitching change to be made. In comes Tim Stauffer. coming in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a big night on Saturday night as Trevor Hoffman will have his number 51 already retired, but into the San Diego Padre Hall of Fame. We'll have a special 1-hour pregame show starting at 4:30 as Trevor Hoffman will be saluted appropriately before the Padres host the Dodgers in the middle game of that 3-game series. Scooter Gennett is going to pinch hit as Ron Renicky gives everyone a chance. Man at first, and Gennett can't wait to swing and sends a high fly ball to Venable in left center field. And that'll do it for the Brewers in the ninth. 2 more on 2 hits and a 10-1 lead. Outstanding pitching staff and bullpen. This is just one of those games where nothing seemed to work in that regard. It's the biggest loss, if it stands at 2-1 of the season at home. Prior to this, Kansas City shut out the Padres 8-0. But no one has scored 9 or 10 runs against San Diego pitching here at home, as Brandon Kinsler makes his 50th appearance of the season for Milwaukee. 3.45 ERA. Jed Jerko get a chance to swing the bat. Jerko, Amarista, and Nelson in the bottom of the ninth.
Oh, Ron Renicky ends up emptying his bench, and that's exactly what Bud Black does.
Herrera stays in the game in right field. Carr moves to center field. Like a spring training game. Everybody playing for Milwaukee.
That's exactly right.
Well, it may not be a laugher, but it's a smiler. Jed, a notch below that 200 line. Sharply hit, almost knocked Kinsler off the mound. 1-3 on the putout. Open the ninth inning, and that'll bring up Amarista.
Well, probably a better scenario for Jed Jerko, so now he doesn't have to leg that out, coming off that hamstring injury.
He's about due to come back to the starting lineup, and Everett Cabrera has picked up his activities as well, due to come off the DL probably a week from today on the September expansion of the roster.
Yeah, we saw Everett Cabrera playing solid baseball until he got hurt.
Yonder Alonso's season is over. Carlos Quentin apparently is over.
Amarista, the RBI triple, and a ground out and a strikeout. Lines a single to center field. 2-hit night for Amarista. That'll send him over the 240 mark. He has been one of the pluses of the season.
Yeah, I got to agree with you, and especially this versatility. And as we take a look at the phantom swing by Alexi, head down right on the ball and barreling this up right up the middle of the plate, diamond.
And tonight is an example of why he's been a more productive hitter. He's gone to left field for a triple, center field for a single, not trying to pull everything.
Yeah, I think you've seen some really good adjustments for Alexi, and they've done a very nice job with his swing, cutting it down and using the strength of going to left field. We've seen some at-bats against left-handers, driving the ball the other way, but consistency has definitely crept up into Amarista's game.
Nelson 0 for 2 with a walk tonight.
And the reason why I say that is this is a guy that's played center field, played the outfield, played second base, shortstop. You need versatility if you're Bud Black and his coaching staff, and Alexi Amarista is a perfect National League player. He's done a very good job driving that average up.
Stealing more bases. He's stolen 11 bases this year. That's a career high. Ground ball. Knocked down by Overbay, but safe at first is Nelson. So Overbay playing well off the line, as we documented earlier in the game, not quite as far with the man on first base. Unable to get back in time to field that ball cleanly, and it's ruled a hit.
Let's take a look at Chris Nelson's swing, again going the other way, and Lyle Overbay trying to cheat into that hole in between first and second and dives over this, tries to make the play, and Nelson hustling down the line. Just a nice play. Looked like he drove over that baseball, goes off the heel of his glove.
So first and second on singles here with one out in the ninth inning. Amarista to second, Nelson at first. Liriano second at bat. He struck out the other time. Fastball for a strike. And like so many young players, early sample on Liriano, he takes a lot of strikes, and then you tend to swing at a lot of balls.
Yeah, and you get exposed too, because you start guessing with some of these players instead of getting after that fastball. Seeing a lot of teams try to crowd him with fastballs and then try to expose him with that breaking ball away.
He struck out on a breaking ball low and away the last time.
Sounds easy, Dick, but you got to stay in the strike zone as much as possible. That's part of the maturing process in the game. You try to see it out of every individual pitcher's hands.
Crowds him with that pitch, and it's 1-2.
And they'll definitely expose your weakness at this big league level. You're scouted, you're watched on video, and they'll try to pick out a weakness and try to expose that as much as possible here at the big league level.
So now down on the count, 1-2. Broken bat, shattered bat. There's one. Back to first base, a double play, and that's how it all will come to an end, as the Milwaukee Brewers do something that no team has done all season long here at Petco Park. Rack up 10 runs on their way to a 10-1 win tonight. Let's go to Padres Live, the postgame show. Mike Pomeranz.
Dick, thank you very much. When we see you in a moment, we're going to talk about the bunt that was executed by Eric Stultz. But more importantly, this is an opportunity for you Little Leaguers to gather around. Mark Loretta is going to teach you the proper way to execute the bunt to both the third base and first base sides. We'll see you in moments.